Do you think you know all the tracks? Sure, you know the names. But do you know what it actually takes to survive the ultimate Formula One marathon? 24 circuits, 24 relentless challenges. The entire 2025 calendar in one single video. From the legendary sweeping hills of Spa to the unforgiving narrow streets of Monaco. We're covering every single one of them, back to back, dropping track secrets and F1 history along the way. Buckle up. Round 1, Albert Park, Melbourne, the traditional season opener. Flying down the pit straight, hard on the brakes for turn 1. You have to carry the speed through this right-left chicane, but watch out for that exit curb. It is notorious for completely unsettling the rear of the car. Approaching turn 3. This is a heavy braking zone and your best overtaking spot. You need to be incredibly patient on the throttle here. Because this is a semi-street circuit, the grip levels change constantly. It starts out green and slippery and grips up massively as the rubber gets laid down. Now entering the fastest part of the track. Recent layout changes removed an old chicane here, turning this entire back section into a terrifying, flat-out blast. This sweeping run severely punishes poor ERS battery management. It's all about pure aerodynamic trust. Through the fast chicane. History check. Albert Park was actually the site of the very first race for Red Bull Racing back in 2005. Now, heavy on the brakes into turn 13. It is incredibly easy to lock a front right tyre here. Through the final 2 corners. This exact finish line is where local hero Mark Webber scored miraculous debut points for Minardi in 2002, sending the Aussie crowd into an absolute frenzy. Keep it tight to the exit wall and across the line. 1 down, 23 to go. Next up, Shanghai. Welcome to a track shaped entirely like the Chinese character Shang, meaning above. Right off the line, we plunge into the snail, turns 1 through 4. It's an endless, tightening right-hander. Sim tip. You have to bleed off the brakes gradually while downshifting. It demands total patience and absolutely murders your front left tyre. Fun fact, the circuit is built on a former swamp. Because of the soft ground, the engineers had to use thousands of giant foam blocks under the track surface to ensure the tarmac wouldn't sink over time. Through the sweeping middle sector, relying purely on aerodynamic grip. History check. The rain was pouring down right here in 2009 when a young Sebastian Vettel crossed the line to give Red Bull Racing their very first victory in Formula One, the start of an absolute dynasty. Nailing the exit of turn 13 is crucial because it launches you onto the massive 1.2-kilometre back straight. You have time to breathe here, but don't lose focus. Just off to our left is the infamous pit lane entry. Legendary moment. In 2007, a rookie Lewis Hamilton slid into a tiny gravel trap right there, agonizingly throwing away the World Championship. Braking from over 320 kilometers an hour down to a crawl for the turn 14 hairpin. Trail braking is essential to get the nose pointed in. History check. This very circuit and this heavy braking zone is where the legendary Michael Schumacher claimed his 91st and final Formula One victory in 2006. Navigating the tricky, off-camber final corner and launching onto the pit straight. 2 tracks down, 22 to go. Next, we head to the ultimate driver's track, Suzuka. Suzuka, Japan, the only figure-8 circuit on the calendar. Plunging downhill into turn 1, we immediately face the S's. Sim tip. This section is pure rhythm. You have to dance the car left and right, using the throttle to help steer. If you miss just one apex here, you'll be off the racing line and your entire first sector is ruined. History check. Suzuka has crowned 13 world champions, making this asphalt absolutely sacred ground for Formula One legends. Slamming over the curbs into the double apex Degner curves. These corners are old school and completely unforgiving. There is zero tarmac runoff here. One tiny snap of oversteer drops you straight into the gravel trap. Suzuka was originally built as a Honda test track, which is why it's arguably the most driver-centric circuit in existence. out of the hairpin and sweeping through the tricky off-camber spoon curve. You have to sacrifice your entry speed to get the perfect launch down the back straight. Blasting over the crossover bridge and accelerating towards the terrifying 130R. It's a blind, flat-out left-hander taken at nearly 300 kilometers an hour. Legendary moment. This is exactly where a young Fernando Alonso pulled off a breathtaking 200 miles per hour overtake around the outside of Michael Schumacher in 2005. Heavy on the brakes for the final chicane, the Casio Triangle. History check. This exact braking zone is where the bitter rivalry between Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost literally collided in 1989, infamously deciding the World Championship. Powering out and across the line, 3 down. Round 4, Sakhir, Bahrain, where we plunged straight into the desert night, braking heavily from top speed into turn 1. History check. This tight right-hander was the main battleground for the legendary 2014 duel in the desert between teammates Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Bahrain was the first ever F1 track to be built in the middle of a desert. Accelerating up the hill and braking hard for turn 4. Legendary moment. Just before this corner is where modern Formula One safety proved its absolute worth in 2020. Romain Grosjean miraculously survived a massive, fiery crash right here, cementing the halo as a lifesaver. Navigating the twisting middle sector, we arrive at the trickiest part of the track, turns 9 and 10. Sim tip. This is a downhill, off-camber left-hander. You have to trail brake while turning the steering wheel. It is incredibly easy to lock your front left tyre here and flat spot your rubber. History check. Bahrain was the absolute pioneer, hosting the very first Middle Eastern Grand Prix back in 2004, long before Abu Dhabi or Qatar. Today, it's the official home of F1 preseason testing. Because of the predictable weather, teams have mountains of data on this layout. Blasting down the back straight under the floodlights. Because we are literally in the middle of a desert, sand blowing onto the asphalt constantly changes the grip lap by lap. This is also a massive traction circuit, so your rear tyres are begging for mercy right now. Keeping it smooth through the final 2 sweeping right-handers, getting the power down early without spinning the rears. Across the line, 4 tracks down. Next, we brace for the fastest, most terrifying street circuit in the world, Jeddah. Round 5, Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Prepare yourself, because this is the fastest street track on the planet. Plunging right into Sector 1, it's a relentless, high-speed snake. You are threading the needle at over 150 miles per hour, completely blind, inches from the concrete. Sim tip. Because almost every corner in this first half is blind, you cannot rely on sight alone. It is purely about rhythm and muscle memory. If you miss your turn-in point by a fraction of an inch, the wall will inevitably catch you on the exit. There is zero margin for error. Jeddah holds the record for the most corners on any current F1 circuit with 27. Blasting through the back section to the turn 13 hairpin, this corner features a massive 12-degree banking. Sim tip. Use the slope to carry more speed than you think is possible, but be careful on the exit. The car gets light as the track flattens out, making it very easy to lose the rear. The track is located directly on the Red Sea coast, leading to unique wind challenges. Flying down the final back straight. Legendary moment. This asphalt was the stage for the absolute peak of the 2021 title fight. Right here is where Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton had that infamous brake test incident. The tension in this city is always at a breaking point. Fun fact, Jeddah is officially the fastest street circuit in the world, with average speeds topping 250 kilometers per h. Nailing the final hairpin and keeping it pinned to the wall. One mistake here and the lap is gone. Across the line in the fastest corridor in the world. 5 down. Next, we head across the Atlantic to the heat of Florida, Miami. Round 6, Miami. The track is built around the Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Miami Dolphins. We're racing around the Hard Rock Stadium. It's a hybrid track, part street circuit, part permanent facility. Hard on the brakes for turn 1, it's wider than it looks, tempting you to dive down the inside, but the exit is incredibly tight. Now we enter the Sector 1 flow. This high-speed slalom requires total confidence in your front-end aero. Sim tip. You want to clip the interior curbs just enough to rotate the car without launching it. It's all about maintaining a minimum speed of 150 miles per hour through the sweeps. Fun fact, the circuit surface is a unique blend of granite and limestone for higher grip, and it was the 11th different venue to host a Formula One World Championship race in the USA. Braking hard for the infamous turn 14 and 15 chicane under the turnpike. This is the slowest part of the track. Some drivers call it the Mickey Mouse section. It's narrow, bumpy and off-camber. Sim tip, short shift to second or third gear, here to keep the tyres from spinning on the exit. Powering onto the massive 1.2 kilometre back straight, passing the famous Fake Water Marina on your right. History check. When this race debuted in 2022, it marked a massive shift in F1's popularity in America, turning the sport into a true Super Bowl level event every time we visit the States. One final heavy braking zone into the left-hander, then it's a flat-out blast to the line. That's 6 circuits in the bag. That's all for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on such content.